Let's say we live in a world where yokai exist. You encountered one while you were fishing beside the pond near your local village. What are you going to do? Running is useless since most of them are really inhumanly fast. So don't worry, this is where this guide comes in handy. The guide on how to survive Japanese yokai encounters. Kappa is a green, sometimes red amphibian humanoid creature with slimy body, beak for a mouth, a hard turtle-like shell on its back, and a peculiar petri dish-like bowl on its head. They are as tall as an average child, hence the name translated to literally river child. They are said to be the spirit of rivers, and such they have somewhat of a supernatural qualities to them. One thing that is really dangerous about this guy is that they like to shove their fist up a person's anus to pluck the shiri kodama, a pearl-like ball that is said to house the human spirit and vigor. So what do you do when you encounter a kappa? Before going to land, kappa will fill the petri dish on top of its head with water. This water will be their source of strength on land. If the water spills or dries out, the kappa will be very weak to the point of dying. So, let's say you encounter a kappa on land. Well, that means you are already on the advantage. Somewhat. It will try to kidnap you or even fight you. If the kappa challenges you to a sumo fight, which is their favorite pastime by the way, do not accept it and do not be fooled by their small stature, as they are way stronger than a human and will beat you up and possibly kill you in the process. There are several things that you can do if you happen to encounter a kappa having a bad day. 1. Bow at them. Kappa are known to be mischievous troublemakers, but they are polite beings. When you bow, they will bow back. And the thing is, they will spill the water on top of its head. This will lead to the kappa being weak and vulnerable. So this is the time for you to run away. As a backup plan, if you are planning to venture into kappa territory, bring with you cucumbers. Kappa loves cucumbers to death. They will drop anything they are doing if they see a cucumber. So as a backup, if things go south, throw a cucumber at them. They will get distracted, giving you ample time to run. Precautions: do not swim or fish at kappa-infested pools. Quickly run or turn the other way around if you happen to smell something extremely foul, like rotting fish. That is the kappa's smell. And please, don't, for whatever reason, go naked at a kappa-infested river or pool. You just make it easier for them to feast you. And to get into darker part of their lore, they are known to people, especially women. So, yeah, they are also deathly afraid of iron or steel items for some reason. So if you have something that is made out of iron or steel, bring it with you. And as for a long-term precaution, erect a kappa shrine near the river or pool that is said to house a kappa. Offer the shrine cucumbers. Kappa is known for keeping their promise and also being honorable. If you pray for them and make them promise to be kind and help drowning children, they will do just that, as long as the offering is given. Sometimes they are known for giving people their daily catches as a way of thanks for the offering. Sure, kappa can be very sadistic and evil at times, but there are many weaknesses that we can exploit from them. The Ice Lady herself. Said to be the manifestation of snow, Yuki Onna is a supernatural entity that is able to manipulate their surroundings, creating snowy weather even indoors. They can blow ice from their mouth, freezing people to death. They are cold to the touch, and they have the ability to dissolve into icy mists to escape or run away. They are known to hunt humans who wander in the snowy Alps of Japan. The most famous story of Yuki Onna shows a Yuki Onna sparing a young man from being frozen to death when she found him stranded during a snowstorm. She spared the man because the man was handsome and young according to her. However, this is with a condition. Do not, in any circumstances, tell anyone about their encounter, even his parents or wife, or else she will come and kill him, for real. Several years later, the man met an incredibly beautiful woman and they married. They had children together, and one day, for whatever reason, the man told his wife about his encounter with a Yuki Onna years ago. The wife suddenly burst in anger and reveals to him that she has been the Yuki Onna all along, and she is mad that her husband had broken the promise. She would kill him if it had not because of their children. She made the husband promise to take care of their children, sparing him again. However, she leaves the husband forever. So let us take this scenario from the start. If you happen to wander the snowy areas in Japan and happen to encounter a Yuki Onna, you better pray that you are good looking. And if not, well, there is nothing to do than to accept your fate. There is no running from a Yuki Onna. And if you are a woman, well, I don't know if she is into women. If not, then there is no hope for you at all, to be honest. Okay, now let's say you are spared from her deadly icy breath of death. Now what? Well, just try to remember the promise she made you do. Just try to hammer into your brain that no matter what, do not break the promise. Yokai are known to uphold their promise, and she did promise to kill you if you break the promise. So don't tell anyone about the encounter, not a soul. Look on the bright side. In a couple of years, there might be the most beautiful woman you have ever seen, with dubious origins, approaching you and wanting to be with you. Just accept her and live a happy life with her. Pay no mind to her abnormally cold skin, or that she never seems to age. You might have children with her and be happy, or you might do something stupid and tell her about that Yuki Onna encounter. Well, she might reveal herself to be the same Yuki Onna all along and threaten to murder you because of the broken promise. If you do have children with her, she might show her soft side once again and spare you with another promise to be a good father for the child, or else she is going to kill you for good. No third chances. She leaves you forever, leaving you broken-hearted and confused. The question is, do you really want that? You could have been with her for the rest of your life if you had kept your mouth shut. So what is it going to be? But let's be real. Your first encounter with her can be your last, if you happen to not be her type at all. There is no way out of it. And being her type, or being young and handsome as she calls it, is something beyond your control in the first place. Man, but not man. Bird, but not bird. Dog, but not dog. They possess the hands of a human, the head of a canine, a pair of wings, and are capable of flight and walking. The Karasu Tengu are the lesser Tengus, said to serve the much greater Hanadaka Tengu, which is the Tengu that everybody is more familiar with. Karasu Tengus are a malicious bunch, known for seducing monks to do bad things, spiriting away people to far-flung locations. They are also known to possess and drive people mad, and the dreaded of all, they are known throughout history to cause all manner of catastrophe and mayhem, such as spreading plagues and other natural disasters. One cool thing is that Karasu Tengu are known for their inhuman proficiency in a variety of martial arts and weapons. One famous legend is that they are the ones who taught the legendary Minamoto no Yoshitsune the way of the sword and military tactics. They are territorial beings and live in the mountains and wooded areas. They can fly and possess sharp talons on their feet. This makes them very, very dangerous for travelers and such, as they can fly and swoop in, slash your throat with its sharp talon without you even seeing it coming. They are known to play around with humans, in a bad way. They will swoop and pick up unwary travelers, fly really high and drop them to their death. They can also shapeshift to easily trick humans. They are a bunch of very violent and incorrigible creatures. Not only that, they were shown to be very vengeful creatures. So, what do you do if you happen to make a Tengu angry? Well, to be frank, there is nothing much you can do other than to accept your fate. A Tengu's grudge or malice can spread wide and far. When a Tengu is angry, it directs its anger not only to you, but your family, your village, and even the town you live in. If you try to fight a Tengu, well, good luck. Since it can fly, has sharp talons, and is very good with any Japanese martial art you can think of, you're pretty much done. Anyways, there is a way you can do to survive a Tengu, but requires a ball of steel to try it. You see, Tengus are very proud creatures. They think highly of themselves and they think humans are stupid creatures. Too stupid to even lie. So what you are going to do if you do happen to encounter a Tengu? Well, just trick them. For example, a bracelet or any mildly good looking thing that you possess at the time. You can trick the Tengu by stating that this bracelet or ring is actually the ring from the dragon god or something like that. You made a deal with the Tengu. In exchange for not killing you, you gave it your quote-unquote divine smartphone or divine watch. There is a high chance that it will believe you, and you are scot-free. But if the Tengu happens to know you dare lie to its face, well, at least you tried. Another thing to do as a precaution is to respect the mountainous areas that Karasu Tengu dwells in. Maybe by being a good boy or girl, you can put yourself on the good side of these yokai. A bizarre yokai. The word Nurikabe means plastered wall, and its name will make a lot of sense if you know what it is known for. Nurikabe is a yokai that is known to manifest as a wall, sometimes visible but most of the time invisible. Their favorite pastime is to manifest as invisible walls to block its victims. Why? Well, there is no reason other than just to screw with people. It is said that a Nurikabe wall is tall to the point of it impossible to climb, and wide to the point of it impossible to circle around. Nurikabe will manifest inside man-made structures and sometimes out in the wild. People who reported that when they were traveling, they encountered what seems to be an invisible wall blocking their path forward. This wall is so solid that even if you hit it or try to push it, it won't budge. They are stuck there, unable to continue their journey and unable to comprehend what is really happening. There are other versions saying that Nurikabe is a personification of being lost. A person that is lost, let's say in the woods, would likely run around in circles, going back to the same place again and again. And this is said to be the work of Nurikabe. But I like the idea of a literal wall blocking your path instead. It sounds funnier that way. So let's put ourselves in a scenario. You woke up getting ready to go to work or school. Then when you are on your way to work, you bump into what seems to be nothing. You try to move, but there seems to be a wall in front of you, but you can't see it. You become frustrated as you are getting late for work, but the wall does not seem to budge or move. Well, that means you are encountering a Nurikabe. Don't worry, there is a way to solve this problem. All you have to do is squat down near where the wall seems to be, and then try using your hand to feel and pinch at the area where the base of the wall is. Or maybe you can pick up a stick and try poking the base of the wall. Within some time, you will notice that there is no wall anymore, and you are free to go. So the question is, what exactly do you pinch or poke? Who knows? Nurikabe can be very frustrating to deal with, especially if you are in a hurry and such. But there is no record of Nurikabe killing a person. So yeah, you might get fired because you clocked in late to work, but that is as far as Nurikabe can do. Very famous urban legend. I'm sure a lot of you are quite familiar with her. She is probably closer to us than any other yokai we have talked before in this video. Kuchisake Onna is known to stalk the urban and suburban areas all over Japan. and is a very well-known urban legend among Japanese school children. She looks just like any other Japanese woman, except that she wears a surgical mask, which again is nothing extraordinary, since it is normal for Japanese people to wear masks for whatever personal reason they have. So this makes her really easy to blend in with the surrounding crowd. She is known to be quite beautiful when she wears her mask, but underneath that mask, she masks her horrible, grotesque mouth, said to be so wide that it reaches from ear to ear. Not only that, the mouth sports sharp fangs. There are many versions of her origin. One tells a story of how a samurai slit his wife's mouth because he finds out that she was cheating on him. In order to not let any man near her ever again, he mutilated her face. Another modern take tells a story of a botched plastic surgery, and so on. Her form of attack goes like this. She will approach you asking, "Watashi kirei?" If you answer yes, then she will open up her mask, showing her grotesque mouth. Even like this, she asks again. If you lie to her and say yes, she will slit your mouth, just to look like hers. If you answer no, you are going to get murdered anyway. If you run, well, the outcome is still the same, since it is said that Kuchisake Onna is super fast and able to cover 100 yards in just 3 seconds. So how do you survive an encounter with Kuchisake Onna? Well, first of all, if you do encounter her, she opens up her mask. Try not to run away due to the grotesque sight. Many cases, we see people letting fear take over them and start to run away. Don't, because this will just drop down your chance of survival to 0. Stay your ground. There are several ways to counter her question. One, you try answering in the most vague way possible, such as, "You are kinda average to me." This answer will leave her to ponder for a bit on what you just meant by average. This is the right time to slip and escape. This requires a bit of courage and may or may not work. One other way is, if you know that your area is haunted by a Kuchisake Onna, be sure to stock up with candy, especially the Japanese candy called Beko Ame. She really loves this candy, to the point she will get distracted if she sees any. So drop that candy to the ground or give her. She will get distracted by this, giving you time to escape from her. One way to repel this woman is to wear pomade. She hates the smell of pomade and will not get close to you. Chanting the word pomade 3 times works as well. One more method is to chant the word niniku, which means garlic, and at the same time drawing the kanji of dog on one's hand does the trick. Although it is not known what effect this method gives to the Kuchisake Onna. Due to its sadistic nature and superhuman feats such as superhuman speed, all it comes down to is your courage. If you let your fear overwhelm you and straight run away at the sight of her wide mouth, then your fate has already been sealed. Perhaps the most prevalent yokai in Japan, Kitsune is the Japanese name for fox, particularly the red foxes. However, we are not going to talk about the normal foxes, but instead the yokai ones. Legends of foxes have been existing throughout different cultures and civilizations, often depicting them as sly and cunning, morally grey creatures. Foxes are considered by default to be feminine, or have a strong ties with femininity. This also is the case for Japanese kitsune. Throughout the olden days, there have been numerous legends of kitsune that depict them as having almost human-like intelligence. Not only that, they have considerable magical powers, able to shapeshift, breathe fire from its mouth, and spirit possession. Because of this, there are many instances of kitsune using its cunning intellect and magical powers to pull pranks and trick humans. They will shapeshift as a ball of fire to lure travelers into the woods, making them lost, shapeshifting to a human form so that they can easily lure in humans, such as shapeshifting into a hot lady or a rich old man. In human form, they would hold a feast and invite a person to join them, then getting the person drunk. The next morning, the person finds out they had been eating crap last night instead of fine gourmet food. It seems that Kitsune can also manipulate how we see things. They will shapeshift to a beautiful woman to seduce men, and when they are doing the deed, she will suck the life force or ki out of the man. The next day, the man will feel extraordinarily tired because of this. While many are mischievous, there are some that are really evil, and should be avoided altogether, if possible. One best example of an evil kitsune is the nine-tailed fox, Tamamo no Mae, the one who wreaked havoc across the Asia continent before terrorizing Heian period Japan. However, there are also good kitsune, known for helping people and having auspicious qualities. These good kitsunes are closely tied with Inari, as they are the messengers of Inari. So, how do you handle when encountering a mischievous trickster kitsune? Well, most of the time, the person realizes he or she was tricked by a kitsune way after the gig is over. So what you are going to do is bring a dog or adopt a dog. Dogs have keen senses and can tell if a person is truly a person or a fox disguising as a person. Dogs and foxes are natural rivals. A dog will attack a fox on sight, and foxes are deathly afraid of dogs. Next, be skeptical of strangers. There is no reason for a stranger to suddenly be nice to you, like inviting you to their so-called grand feast, or a beautiful woman suddenly wanting to be lovey-dovey with you. Sometimes a fox will disguise as a woman in distress or needing help. This is again to lure good men. So how do you know if that is a person or not? Again, have a dog. The other thing you can do is invite them for a drink. Disguising as a human requires an extreme amount of focus for the foxes. So when a fox is drunk, they will lose focus. And you will see a tail or a pair of fox ears popping out suddenly, appearing from the person. Another one is to fully focus on how they talk. Even though they can converse in human language, it is said that they talk quite slowly, sometimes slurred in their speeches, and they could not comprehend people who talk in a fast manner. Fun fact, there is a legend on why Japanese people answer the phone with moshi moshi. Moshi is such a strange word, and repeating it twice will make even the most experienced kitsune confused and unable to comprehend it. Failing to answer the moshi moshi is considered rude and can expose disguised foxes who adapted to modern times, using telephones to prank calls and to scam elderly people, I guess. Whether this fact is real in the sense of its origin or not is up for debate. That being said, not all kitsune are mischievous. Like mentioned earlier, some are good. There are many stories of how a female fox disguises herself as a beautiful woman and marries a human man. They are said to be the most perfect housewife, down from her beauty to her manners, but usually these tales ends with sadness, as the husband finds out the true nature of his wife. As per rule of yokai, once when its true nature is found out, it must leave the humans behind, even though the husband pleads for her to stay. Although they are really the direct cause of someone's death, their tricks and pranks can lead someone to their death. Their pranks can lead someone to fall off a cliff, get lost in the middle of the woods, and so on. The fact that they are the most prevalent kind of yokai made it all the more dangerous, as you can easily be tricked by one. A giant skeletal spectre that is said to be made out of skeleton remains of soldiers in war, remains who did not get proper burial and funeral rites. Their collective hatred and grudge made their bodies combine into one giant kaiju-like skeleton. Though they are big, it is said that they move silently and can be invisible. Due to its sheer size, they contain power far greater than any yokai, therefore brute force and physical attacks will not stop it. However, its powers are not infinite, as over time its force will weaken, and it will disappear. Gashadokuro is known to only manifest during night time. You might have seen this ukiyo-e, Princess Takayasha invoking the skeleton spectre by Utagawa Kuniyoshi. This woodblock print tells a story of how Princess Takayasha summons a Gashadokuro to wreak havoc in Kyoto, kaiju style. So what do you even do? If you find yourself up against a Gashadokuro, well, for one, try to hide indoors or underground. Nowadays, there are tunnels, subways, parking lots everywhere, so it can't be that hard. If you have a car, you can pretty much run for your life, if you manage to do that in the first place. You can find a good hiding spot and hide until daylight comes, as Gashadokuro can only manifest in nighttime. Back in the day, Gashadokuro were thwarted by magicians and Shinto priests, using various secret charms to fight off the evil. Do not, in any circumstances, try to fight them head on, because this will only result in your death. As big as it is really fast, and in a blink of an eye it can bite off your head. Plus, like mentioned earlier, the creature is huge and so much more powerful than you and I could ever imagine. But rest assured, Gashadokuro is much prevalent in the past, in times where war and battles were everywhere, the time of chaos and death. Nowadays, in times of peace, Gashadokuro is pretty much non-existent. Cats were always thought to be supernatural beings. Their ability to silently sneak up on you, dilate their pupils, and generally erratic behavior led people in the old days, well even today, to associate them with the supernatural and wickedness. As per rules in the yokai world, when an animal lives far exceeding its natural lifespan, it will gain supernatural powers. For cats, they can go two different paths, Bakeneko and Nekomata. Bakeneko, meaning monster cat or ghost cat, is when a cat lives long enough to gain supernatural and human-like abilities. Not long they are able to walk on hind legs, dance around wildly, converse in human language, and grow to extraordinary size. They possess superb ability to shapeshift, so most of the time they disguise themselves as normal cats when people are around. However, the telltale sign of a Bakeneko is that they have extraordinarily long tails, even for a cat. The next path that a long-lived cat can take is Nekomata. Nekomata is when a cat that lived long enough gains supernatural power and it grows a new tail, hence the English translated name forked cat. As per yokai nature, the more tail equals more and stronger power, so in general, Nekomata are more dangerous and powerful than Bakeneko. A Nekomata can conjure fireballs, mind control people as their puppets, and also are known for their necromancy. So what are you going to do when you encounter these supernatural cats? Bakeneko in general have 3 times more wild cat instincts than before. This means they are more aggressive, more mischievous and more erratic in their behavior. However, it has been said that they hold grudges against their master who did not treat them well during their years as a normal cat. So if you have a cat or are planning to have a cat, be sure to take care of it with all your heart, because when it changes to a Bakeneko, it will have a soft spot for you. However, the same could not be said with Nekomata. Nekomata are said to be evil cat yokais that will wreak havoc wherever they go. Wild Nekomatas are said to grow as large as a tiger and as heavy as a bear, able to eat humans and use their magical abilities to make humans suffer. Although they are evil, treating them right and not abusing them when they were cats can also help you. It may show their mercy to you. One other custom that can be used is to form a contract. With them before they change. Back in the day when people wanted to adopt a cat, they would say to the cat, "I will only take care of you for 4 years," for example. This forms a contract of sorts for you and the cat. When the 4-year ends, the cat is practically free to go elsewhere. Bakeneko and Nekomata pose a considerable threat, and at the end of the day, you are at the mercy of these cat fiends. Even if you take care of the cat with much love and respect, if it decides to terrorize you, it will do so. And that concludes today's guide on how to survive yokai. Thank you for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy this sort of content, and be safe out there.